All right, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Apostle Karen Pina here, your glory teacher, heavenly success and ascension specialist, coming on today to talk about, teach about, share about the King of Glory. All right, the King of Glory. He wants to come in. He wants to come in. You know, Psalm 24 talks about lift up your heads, O ye gates, and be lifted up, ye ancient doors, right? And the King of Glory will come in. He wants to come in, okay? He wants to be the King of Glory. He wants to, in your life, he wants you to look at your ancient doors. What are some things, some doors? Remember, even in Revelation, it says that he did what? He is standing at the door knocking, okay? Knocking. Wow. What are some areas, some doors that you have kept him out of, all right? Kept him shut out of, boxed out of, locked out of. Wow, and maybe the time, okay, for that thing may seem like it has passed. You know, when I was just pulling up the website here to log on, okay, to just kind of keep abreast of what's going on the actual page, it timed out. Okay, it timed out. Wow. And sometimes that's what we do with the King of Glory. We literally time out. There are things that he wants to do in us, and what we do instead is we let the time pass. Wow, we don't respond in a timely fashion. We don't respond in a timely manner. And so when we don't respond in a timely manner or a timely fashion, guess what happens? The King of Glory keeps moving. And I know that you probably don't want to hear that. People, I don't know where they get this from. Some people think God's going to wait on them forever. They think God is going to wait on them forever. He's not, because there are people right now that are like thoroughbred horses in the spirit. Wow. And they're in their own place of ready. They're in their own starting gate. They're ready to go. They're just waiting for the word. Wow. And so don't find yourself in the place where you are still closed off from what the King of Glory wants to do and is doing, quite frankly, in your life. That scripture also says, lift up your heads, O ye gates. Gates. Okay, also another thing that you can use to shut him out. He says, enter into my courts with praise, right? And into my gates with thanksgiving. A lot of times, wow, we, due to our lack of gratitude, due to our lack of willingness to just be grateful for where we already are, okay, that is a way that you can keep the King of Glory from coming in. He sent me on today to talk to you all on the replay, on the live, and quite frankly, to even talk to myself. Sometimes we just keep him out. We keep him out. And the sad thing is that we know that what he wants us to do is good for us. And after we get to the place where we finally obey, we look back like, why did I give him a hard time? Why did I struggle so much letting the King of Glory in? Why did I fight him? Why did I resist him? Why didn't I just surrender? Well, it's because of this. You see this? This flesh right here. This flesh, a lot of times, what we think, what we feel, what we don't want, quite frankly. There's some things that we just don't want sometimes. Wow, and because we don't want them, and he wants them for us, that's how we can keep him locked out. Let me give you an example from my own life, okay? I've shared with you all before that I have been an entrepreneur, and any entrepreneur knows that you don't just start one business. You start businesses, okay? You don't know that when you first start down the road of being an entrepreneur. But the truth is, you start businesses, plural, okay? I've often referred to myself as the serial entrepreneur. Now, here's the thing, okay? I want to share something about how sometimes we just don't want to do things. I've shared with you that over the past year I have been coming through this place of creating wealth with the Father based on Deuteronomy 8 and 18. I've shared that this has positioned me with some decrees that we're decreeing. I've shared how out of this a book has been written. I've shared how I am now, my husband and I, in the process of teaching others, all right, how to come into their wealthy place. Well, one of our decrees is that our $1 million revelation will be in demand. Our $1 million revelation will be in demand. Well, a year ago, when we started going down this road of decreeing, Father revealed to me that revelation. And then some time went on, and I'm decreeing, and he revealed another revelation. And I implemented the first, I implemented the second. Well, recently, like maybe a month or so ago, wow, I was praying, decreeing, and he gave me another idea. And it's very interesting because the idea is connected to what I did when I was in high school. In high school, I went to a technical trade school, and my trade of choice was cosmetology, all right, which you know is hair and all things hair, nails, feet, so forth and so on. And for a while, I had a beauty salon in my home, in the basement of my home. My father owned a barber shop. Okay, so I guess it was just kind of in our family. Well, anyway, after some time went by, I just did not take an interest in hair anymore. And the reason, quite frankly, was because I've shared this before too. I never really liked people. In my younger years, I didn't like them, and I didn't like them because I didn't get them. People perplexed me. I just didn't understand what made them tick, why they do the things they do, why they say the things that they say. And it wasn't because anybody hurt me. I just could not understand what was wrong with people. Then as I continued to grow in him and he began to teach me about deliverance, I was like, oh, that's the problem. They're not saved. Soteria, the Greek word, they're not really saved. They're not really healed. They're not really whole. They're not really delivered. That's what's wrong with most people. Okay, got it. Check. Then he moved me on a little further, and he started dealing with me in the area of the glory. And I was like, oh, that's what's wrong with people. They're not glorified. That's it. They need the glory. The glory is the answer for all mankind. And that's kind of where I am right now, right? And so with that being said, the first revelation centered around the glory. And I was like, okay, good. But when I was working with people as a hairdresser, I didn't like it, okay? Because I didn't have this level of understanding. I also didn't like the fact I had to stand on my feet all day. I didn't really have a set lunch break. You know how hairdressing is. You kind of eat on the go. None of that interests me. Not any of it. And so I found myself in corporate America, okay, working a job with set hours, okay, set time to go to lunch, set time I could take a break. You get the picture. Well, fast forwarding to the present, when I'm standing here decreeing, he dropped another idea, okay, for business in my spirit, and it has to do with hair, with cosmetology. And I was like, wow, you got jokes, God. You got jokes. You're reaching all the way back there. You're reaching all the way back there. And, we've heard the expression that nothing is wasted when it comes to God. People have said He uses everything in your life. And I have found that to be true. But I did not think that at this time in my life that He would be using, anything relating to my trade in high school. So anyway, I took all the notes, and then I kept praying a little bit more. Okay, how do you want me to do this? Okay, when do you want me to do this? What's the strategy? And how do I approach these people that I need to approach? And He gave me all the answers and everything. And I was excited, right, when I got it. And I could see, how I would enjoy this. And it's quite frankly a idea where you set it and forget it. Okay? Once it's set up, that's it. You really don't need to be engaged, a lot with it. You really don't need to provide a lot of oversight. And if you know anything about entrepreneurs, those are the types of businesses that we absolutely love. We love those types of businesses, where you can wake up and just see money in your account and you didn't do nothing overnight. Where you work one time, you put in the time and the work to get something started, and then you leave it and it just keeps producing money. That's the best. So I was elated about that. But then I found myself, behind a door. And the door was, who is going to set all this up? Who's going to set all this up? All right. Who is going to set blessings, Letitia? Who's going to set all this up? The whole infrastructure behind it. Now, again, you may or may not know this, but I have a technical background. So I could do it. But quite frankly, I have never used the platform that He told me to use for this idea. And I would have to figure it all out. I'd have to kind of come up to speed, train myself, and I'm going to be honest. At that moment, I lost complete interest. I was no longer interested. I wasn't interested anymore. I didn't care, how easy, it was going to be to set it and forget it and just have the money coming in. I just wasn't interested. And I wasn't interested not because of something other than the sheer fact that it's like time. That takes a lot of time that I don't really have right now. So that was the door that I, kept, that I set up and kept the King of Glory out of. I did it. Did nobody do it? The devil didn't do it. No person did it. I did it. Me. Moi. I did it. Lisa Bouvianama. So then some more time went on. And as I'm going through this journey, I'm not where He promised. And He knows this about me. So I start assessing, why am I still here? Blah, blah, blah. And He started bringing me back to that day when I was decreeing, and He dropped this idea, this revelation in my spirit. And I was like, okay. And I did kind of do some preliminary research, but then when I saw how much time and involvement, I was like, not interested. See, one other thing about entrepreneurs is this. Some of us, not all of us, I'll speak for myself. I like the visionary aspect. I like the creating, and I talked about this last night on my Glory Teacher page on Facebook. I like the creativity part because it's a part of my glory mantle. I like creating with God. I like when I'm standing in that place and He's giving me that revelation. I like the way it feels. I like the vision and all that. But then guess what I want to do? I want to take that and pass it off to somebody. Okay? Pay somebody, create the infrastructure. I'm done. Okay? And I've been saying this for quite some time. And so again, because I'm not quite yet in that place, all right, where I can pass off every idea, I might be able to pass off some of them. But again, serial entrepreneurs have many ideas. Okay? They don't just birth one business. All right? They are constantly, all right, especially if you stay in prayer, especially if you are in his presence, you are constantly receiving ideas, witty inventions, and things that he wants you to do. And you're just not going to be able to, especially if you're starting all over again like I'm doing, okay, starting all over from ground zero. You're not going to be able to pass off everything to someone else. One, because you may not have the finances, but two, because if you're a glory person like me, there's some things that the King of Glory does not want everybody touching. There's some things that he does not want contaminated by unholy hands and unclean lips. There's some things, because remember, Proverbs 25:2 tells us that it is the glory of God to what? Conceal a thing, to hide a thing. But it's our job as kings to search it out. And so there's some things that he wants concealed from certain eyes and from certain people. And so sometimes we don't think about that when it comes to being an entrepreneur, right? We want to hire or farm everything out. We want to hire a VA. We want to hire a time person. We want to hire a this, that, and the other person. Okay? Hi, Phyllis. I was thinking about you today. We want to hire someone to do everything for us as it relates to being an entrepreneur. The problem with that is that you can be an expert at articulating what it is that he wants, okay, you to create in business. You could be an expert at articulating it, all right? You can share the vision with someone and pass it off to them. But somehow, because of where they are, not because of how you're articulating, some things get lost in the translation. And let me say this to you. I have personally found that even though I got stuck behind the door, I didn't let the King of Glory in. I got stuck behind the door of, wow, this is exhausting. This is one more thing to do, and I already have a lot on my plate. Here's what I have found. On the surface, it may seem to be a luxury to pass off the things that God gives you. It may seem to be a luxury. It may seem to be something that's going to lighten your load. But I have found that if it's not the right person for the project, it doesn't lighten your load. It adds to your load. It weighs you down, and you end up spending more time reclarifying, explaining, tweaking their work. Did you hear that? Their work. Now you're in the place where instead of this freeing you up, now you have taken on not just the project of the thing that he wants you to create and implement as an entrepreneur, but now you've taken on all of this management of the other person's task, and you're paying them. So, masibuya basaba. Sometimes it's better to just dig your heels in, let the King of Glory be in control, let him flow through you, let him work through you, let him do what he wants to do in your business, okay, as an entrepreneur, and just get the work done, okay? And here's the thing. Discern when the time is appropriate for that, okay? When he spoke that to me, it wasn't the time. I was right in the middle of going on a trip. I was right in the middle of finishing up a devotional book. There was a lot of things going on. I was ascending into a new place apostolically. But now, okay, over the past couple of weeks, he has me in a place of rest. So now he's bringing that back to my remembrance now, saying, get it done. So what I'm saying to you entrepreneurs is discern. Discern if this is something, whatever this is for you, whatever the $1 million idea, revelation, witty invention is that he has given you, discern if that is something that he wants you to get some support around, hire out, or if it's something that you can do like that. Okay, you may or may not know this, but I type about 85 words per minute. Okay, and as I said, my background was in technology. I can probably knock this out in no time. Really, I could. And you know that a lot of times when you hire people, right, you go through their process. Just the hiring process alone can be cumbersome. You know, you got to do the complimentary session. You got to tell them what it is you want. Sometimes you got to fill out all the paperwork and the forms and fax all that back over and blah, blah, blah. By the time I finish all that, I can have the site probably up and running. See what I mean? So discern, okay, if this is really going to save you time or if it's going to rob your time, your energy, and your focus. So I use myself as an example. I put myself out there big time. What are the doors and what are the gates, my Father, that you have erected, constructed, that are keeping the King of Glory out of your entrepreneurial endeavors, that are keeping him out of various aspects of your life, that are keeping him out of the work that he's assigned your hands as a ascension gift, you know, apostle, prophet, pastor, teacher. Okay, we all do it, which is why I use myself as an example. Okay, now I'm gonna get up, okay, and I'm gonna get her done. I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna get her done. Okay, I started off by saying that a lot of times we think that God is gonna wait on us. He's not gonna wait on us. I have seen this before. I had an idea many, many years ago when he first started bringing me into the glory. Listen to this. I had an idea about glory shoes. Okay, glory shoes. This was way before, all right, the King's Decree and any of that. Way before all of that. And in this specific vision, I saw like a sandal. And the sandal was like, like a thong sandal. You stick your foot in, right? And then it comes back along the side. Well, it was all open though. The whole bottom was open, okay? And all I saw across the top in the vision were jewels. Okay? Beautiful. And guess what? I couldn't figure out, like my mind started going. And this was many years ago. Like, how am I going to do this? I don't know anybody that can create any of this. I've never created a product. I let all of that stuff, okay? That was the gate and the door that I erected that kept the King of Glory out. Then check this out. Maybe a couple years ago, after that, someone that I know, listen to this, someone that I know, they're not like a best friend or anything like that, but I just know them. We fellowship together. Guess what happened? They have a business and they created a shoe. It was very similar, a sandal, very similar to the idea that God gave me. They did it. Did you hear me? They did it. God didn't wait for me to get beyond myself. He didn't wait for me, to vuvibari. He didn't wait for me to get all the answers and to figure everything out. No. He took that idea and spoke to somebody else who was like that thoroughbred that I talked about at the top of this, that was ready to go. There are people right now that are like thoroughbred horses in the spirit. Thoroughbred horses in the spirit. And they are just waiting for God to give them the green light and to open up the gate. And they are going to dash out. The new Vaba Shaba. They're not going to sit. They're not going to analyze anything. You see that, Letitia? They're not hesitating. Will the ideas that can make you wealthy, will those ideas be implemented, my Father, and executed by someone else? How will you feel if you see that an idea that he gave you, a revelation that he gave you, is now being implemented by someone else? You log on to Instagram, for example, and you see a picture of the very product that he wants you to create. Wow. You log on to Facebook, okay, and you see a picture, and it's a service that he told you to offer. I'm so glad you're not procrastinating anymore, Lakeisha. I'm so glad, okay? And so now is the time. It really is. Now faith is. So look at your life. That's what I came on to talk about today. Just look at your life. Is the King of Glory in your life in every area? Have you let him in? Or do you still have gates and doors? And I'm talking about ancient gates and doors. Okay? Let me pull that up for a second. I just want to see something. Ancient gates and doors. That means they're old. Hallelujah. That means there's some stuff. Like I said, remember, I already told you that I had an idea way back when. Okay? Way back when. All right? So this wasn't new. This was nothing new. Yeah. Ancient doors. Lift up your heads, O gates, and be lifted up, ancient doors, that the King of Glory might come in. He wants to lift up. Okay? I'm so glad this is blessing you. He wants to lift up those ancient doors. Okay? He wants to lift them up. And he's not going to do it. That's the key. Are you catching this? Lift up your heads and be ye lifted up. All he's going to do is come in. That's all he's going to do. You have got to do the lifting. You got to do the heavy lifting. My God. My God. And when you do the heavy lifting, the heavyweight glory will come in. My Father. My Father. My Father. When you do the heavy lifting, hear me clear. Hear me well. The King of Glory, the weighty one, the majestic one, the splendorous one, the wondrous one will come in. Yes, he will. But here's the thing. Even after he comes in, you can't revert back to setting up new gates and new doors in other areas. He wants to be, that's why he's called the King of Glory. He wants to be in total control. Total control. And until you're really ready to give him total control, there are some ideas and some things that you're just not going to really be able to prosper in. And I believe that that is a part of the reason why I had like this other little gate, okay? Gates and doors. They're different. Gates, if you know anything about gates, gates can be small, they can be big. Gates come in all different types of materials. Doors can be small, doors can be big. You can get behind a gate and still have a door to go through. Wow. You can come past a door and then there's a gate. What am I saying? My God, I'm saying that I revealed one door that I set up. I'm also saying that there was another, gate, little gate that was holding me back too. And that gate was this. If you have started multiple businesses and you haven't quite seen those businesses, let's say, make the amount of money that you thought, even believed, even what he told you that you were worth in the spirit or that he was going to bless you with, okay? And you started off on these businesses, maybe some failed, maybe some didn't fail, but maybe they didn't produce the results, whatever the results are that you were expecting. Okay, for myself, I'll use coaching. Okay, now I know there are people that make lots of money as a coach. Okay, but when I was coaching a very specific niche, and it was very small. I was working with ascension gifts, okay, and I was leadership coaching specifically. Okay, so that's a very specific niche. And what I was doing was a smaller version, okay, of what I'm doing now. I was helping them get clear about, okay, their glory code and some of the lies they believe and how those lies can stop them from reflecting his glory. Okay, I was doing the making process, in short, in our coaching sessions. Okay, so I went through my coach training and all that, and I, for some reason, just the research I had done, other people, I was under the impression that this is going to be lucrative. This is going to be a lucrative business. Now, I was still consulting at the government, and I had other things going on, but always, and I love coaching. Oh my gosh, I loved it. But it never made a lot of money. It never did. It never did. We worked with, a very select group of people, and that disappointed me. Okay, it disappointed me greatly. So disappointment can cause you to erect gates and doors, depending upon how small or large the disappointment is. Okay, it could be a small gate, it could be a big gate. Think about, it could be a gate, those newfangled gates that you have now, where you go to Home Depot, right? And you have those gates, and they're like little plastic gates, they're like vinyl. You never need to paint them or anything like that. It's still a gate, but it's not like when I was growing up and you had the nice chain link fences, or you even have the nice wire, metal black fences. They had some character to them. These little vinyl things, they're all right, but I remember some really nice fences and gates when I was growing up. What's the point? The point is, depending upon how disappointed you are, will determine what type of material, my God, the gate is that you're erecting. And here's the thing. You can more easily get rid of, lift up your head over a little vinyl gate than you can a gate that's tall and stately and made of metal. Okay? Sometimes disappointment, here's what I'm saying, here's what he's saying through me. Sometimes disappointment can be the thing that is hard for you to get back up again. It's hard for you to lift up your head again. It's hard for you to look to the hills again. Wow. From whence come your help. See that? See that? See that? It can be hard. The scripture says hope deferred makes the heart sick. If you have known for years, like I have known, that millions was my portion, my God, and you haven't seen it, my Father, and you've done everything that God told you to do, and it never amounted to Tobaba Shebe. It never amounted to what you thought, I gotta grab a tissue, it was gonna amount to. And it never did. And so, you came into the place where you were like, What's the point? Disappointment can bring you into the place where you are like, what's the point? Do you see that? Disappointment. What's right in the middle of that compound word is point. Sometimes when you have been disappointed over and over and over again, not by God, but by what you thought, by the results and the outcome that you thought, that you anticipated, that you felt was going to happen, you can become hesitant. You will obey. God knows I'm going to obey. Mani Mose Baba. But you become hesitant. You become hesitant in doing what it is that he's telling you to do. Why? Because you don't want to set yourself up for another disappointment. You don't want to go through all the work to have another website just sit up there with nobody visiting it. You don't want to create Lottie movie, nothing else for just a few people. My God. Shaba. To buy your services or your products. I was there. And here's what you need to know. Remember, discern the timing. Discern the timing. Sometimes he'll do that to see, do you trust me? The king wants to be in control of your harvest, of the harvest, I should say, because it really doesn't even belong to you. It's the harvest. He wants to be in control of how much you make, when you make it, how you make it. And if you really believe that, you have to forge ahead. Despite how many people, okay? How many people you're reaching, how much money you're making. Here's the thing. There are some businesses that will never make more than a certain amount of money. Why? Because, like I said about the coaching, you can be so specialized, and have such a niche that it doesn't warrant $1 million. My God. But that does not mean that that's the one and only revelation that can generate $1 million that he'll ever give you. Remember, if you started one business, most likely you are a serial entrepreneur. You'll start another one and another one and another one and another one. So maybe it's all of the ideas combined together. And it took me years to understand what I'm teaching you. My God. No, it may not be that one idea that makes you a millionaire, but it may be the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, the 7, the 8, the 10, all combined with maybe some other things that he has you doing. Wow. So it's that whole concept of a well that never runs dry. Or if you want to use worldly ease, it's multiple streams of income. So don't be so hungry for success. Don't be so hungry for, a lot of revenue. Don't be so hungry, okay? Because he's already given you all that. He already promised all of it to you. As I've been teaching for the past 14 days, rest in him. And I said last night that the reason why many leaders don't rest is because they don't want to hear what God has to say about them. Okay? They don't want to get alone and let him prune them so they can bear more fruit. Okay? So because I have been resting, Okay, now he's like, get on it. Okay, let me tell you this get to stepping, get to working, get this done. Okay, but it was because I rested, excuse me, you all, I rested, that I was able to hear this. And I don't mean that I couldn't hear it before, but there's something about getting along with him. There's something about worshiping him again, disconnecting and unplugging from social media mania and all the news and the craziness and whatever else. There's something about just pulling back that allows you to see forward. Remember, it's that whole slingshot concept. My God, when you put a stone in a slingshot like David, you pull back. Or if you think about a bow and an arrow, you pull back. Archers pull back the arrow, then they release it. So it's in your pulling back that you can then go forward like that thoroughbred coming out the stable. Like that stallion that's ready to run. Okay? So let the King of Glory in. Don't analyze it anymore. Don't question it anymore. Don't think about it anymore. Don't even worry about how many people, okay, are going to buy it, see it. That's irrelevant, because here's the thing. If you are a part of the kingdom and your reality is living from the kingdom of heaven, then what it is that he's going to give you, it's always going to be about souls, period. It's always going to be about souls being transformed, being glorified, being saved. That's it. And so when you know that, it can help you execute and implement with more confidence and not be so focused on how much money you're going to make. Because if you reach one soul with that service, with that product, with that book, with whatever the idea was that he gave you, then you have done well. Okay? You've done well. You've done well. So everything is not always about revenue. I know that we're talking entrepreneur and you may be thinking whatever, but remember, everybody's not going to buy what you're offering. Okay? You may be called to a select group of people. Okay? Now there are some things, okay? There are some things that are more widely accepted. For example, everybody wants to eat something, right? But now, foodies have made, and the Food Network and shows like that have made that even difficult, because what? You could go to all different types of restaurants now, and you can fall into the trap there of now you got to offer everything. You started off, okay, just a little chicken and biscuit brunch restaurant. Now, okay, the pressure again of more revenue, make more money, okay? That pressure now, you do lunch, you do salads, you do dinner, now you're doing American, now you're doing Korean, now you're doing pizza, now you're doing too much. You're doing the most. And that's not what he told you to do. When he gave you the $1 million revelation, when he gave you the witty invention, when he gave you the idea, that's not what he told you to do. And so you'll never prosper, my Sebe Taba, doing everything but what he told you to do. Prosperity is I am doing what God told me to do, and I will have what I need when I need it. That's prosperity. Did you hear that? Prosperity and success are I'm doing what God told me to do, and I'll have everything I need when I need it. Because I have a shepherd, and I will not want. He gonna make me lie down whether I want to or not. I'm gonna work from rest and not striving, even if I don't want to. I can't do the most. I can't do all that. That's not what I'm called to do. So there are some businesses, okay, that might have, you know, a higher potential to make revenue. Restaurants, anything for the flesh, quite frankly. Let's put it that way. My husband taught me that. If you have something that the flesh needs, then most likely it's going to be something that's going to generate more money than something that's dealing with the soul. Let me repeat that. If you have a business entrepreneur that is dealing with the flesh, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, the pride of life, what people want, where people want to go, where people want to live, what they want to ride, even the doggy industry. My God, I mean, they got beds. They can move. They got house insurance now for dogs. They got medical insurance. They got life insurance. I mean, dogs got wills. Move on, Neymar. Do you see what's the point? That's something that someone's flesh wants to take care of. Take pride of life in. My dog's coat, my dog's riding with me in the car. You get the point. It caters to the lust of someone's flesh, and so that is a big industry where you can make a lot of money. Whereas if you're dealing with someone's soul, transformation, okay, sanctification, glorification, that is not going to produce a lot of revenue. Not initially anyway. It may, because I believe according to what I decree, that money follows miracles. I believe that. Because see, sometimes a millionaire has money, but they don't have glory. They don't have the power to do what? Anything. They can be sick. Money ain't gonna heal you. Ask the one with the issue of blood. How many doctors did she go to? Do you see? And when people have access to money and God uses you to minister in a way that transforms something that they couldn't do with their money, they will give you money. All right? And a lot of it. But again, if you're not moving at that level, if you're not in that dimension of ministry, okay, you're just doing what everybody else is out here doing. And I'm not saying anything's wrong with that. I'm just illustrating, okay, that the higher price you pay in the spirit, the higher you will also have the capability and ability, all right, to receive natural money. Even Paul said that, right? What did he say? He says, I am ministering to your spiritual needs. And I'm paraphrasing here. You know, the least that you can do is do what? Return back something to me naturally. Return back something to me naturally. Okay, so I'm sharing all this so that you can let the King of Glory come in. So you can get your focus right. All right, so that you can level your expectations. All I want you to expect, if you're an entrepreneur or a ministry leader listening to me live or on the replay, all I want you to expect is this. I want you to expect the King of Glory to come in. That's it. That's it. And leave everything else to him. There's no way that the King of Glory can come in and not bring riches, honor, wealth, power, dignity, security. Why? Because with him are riches, favor, wealth, honor. They come with him. When he comes in, everything that he is comes in too. Everything that's surrounded by his throne comes in too. You hear that? So just get to working. Get to obeying. Okay? I know that's not good English, but that's how he's giving me to say it. Get to obeying. Do what it is that he is telling you to do. Let the King of Glory come in. Let him come in. Let him come in. Okay? Think in your life. I know I've applied this a lot to business and ministry, but think, okay, about the areas where you have constructed and erected gates and doors through your disappointment, through your lofty ambition and expectations. Think about where you have the gates and the doors. You need to get your head, my God, above the gate. You need to get your head above the door and let the King of Glory come in. All right, so remember, this level of clarity comes when you rest. It comes when you rest. It comes when you sup with him, when you commune with him, when you worship, when you just hang out with him. Just hang out with him. Stop asking for stuff. Stop looking for stuff. Just be with the King of Glory. Just be with him. Just be with him. And so I want to invite you, okay? I want to invite you. See that, Letitia? I want to invite you to join us on May 17th and 18th, 2019, Houston, Texas, okay? You'll be learning more teachings like this for entrepreneurs, okay? We're going to be there if you want to learn more, okay? You can go to bit.ly/general, capital G for general, admin, lowercase a for admin, all right? We're going to be releasing Glory Intercession in the state of Texas. We're going to be teaching you all sorts of things, okay? So if you are the type that want to live a life of glory, if you're the type that's hungry for glory, if you're the type that recognizes that you need more than what you have been experiencing in your life, more of him, okay? If you're really, really hungry, okay? If you want to learn how to be led into glory, join us, all right? So I see that I've got a little freezing over here. I don't know if it's freezing on your end, but I'm done. All right, so thank you for joining me. Share with your followers. Share with an entrepreneur, okay, that may be stuck behind a gate or behind a door. Apostle Karen Pina here, your glory teacher, heavenly success and ascension specialist. Heavenly success. Did you hear that? Signing out. Blessings on the rest of your day.